Hey all, this is Andrew Mott again, with Mock Sound, reaching out to you to discuss the film that I've been working on called A Reservation. Um, this is a film that has been delivered and completed at this point. My involvement on the film has ceased, and all contracts have been fulfilled. Now we're looking at this movie, discussing kind of all the problems that I've encountered with this project. Previous stream that I released was a discussion about um, the issues that were involved with the project. So, kind of circling into that again, this film is called A Reservation. It's a 2 hour movie. It's a suspense thriller. When I originally received the project, they were calling it a horror movie. But as we made it further down along the editing timeline in post production, we kind of re-looked at the movie and started calling it a suspense thriller because it doesn't necessarily meet all the criteria to be called a horror film. This film, um, before it got to me, so let's start with that. How I got involved, and before it got to me, um, this film was received by another sound editor that's out in California that I'm friends with and also part of MIPSI with, Motion Picture Sound Editors Guild. Um, Her name is Vicky Sampson. She received this project from a friend of hers asking if she could help and get the sound edit job done. Well, with the sound edit job here, um, she reviewed it. She first off, she's not really big into horror movies, so that was one of the things that off-put her about working on this project. She just actually got done working on a few other horror films, and she was already not wanting to do those ones. So this film being 2 hours long already kind of threw that off for her. And then she got the assets. The first reel came to her. She reviewed it, and it was in really bad shape. The audio was completely damaged, distortion everywhere. Like on production set, uh, microphones weren't placed correctly on bodies. So, like some of these scenes, the microphones found out by discussing with the people involved in the film. The microphones were mic'd under the or lavaliers. Microphones were or lapel mics were mic'd under tables and stuff like that, not necessarily used for plant. It was just a lack of knowledge on how these microphones were used. So, of course, created a lot of other issues there, such as phase, as well as the distance, very reverberant mics. So it sounded very echoey and stuff like that. And then there was no boom for some of the scenes, and the mics weren't placed well, or they were placed on bodies, but you got really extreme amount of distortion from either the wind hitting the microphone or the clothing rustle. I mean, it was the works. So this movie really, when I say it's probably the most difficult film I worked on, it is because this film literally has just about every single issue that you can make in film production. Um, Literally every issue's here. There's not just talking about sound. I mean, there's lighting issues, acting issues, there's directing issues, there's um, uh, poor dialogue, poor pronunciations, and a few other problems that really, really drove this film to a whole new level for me on bad films. Now, I've worked on a handful of movies that were recorded correctly, but this film definitely takes the cake, especially the fact that it's a 2 hour movie with a sizable budget. Actually, surprisingly, this film actually had a big budget um, that kept me on for a full year. But I'm not sure how big budget got involved in this project with how poor the team did on, from production and pre-production of um, this film really drove a whole new level for me in needing to communicate even further than past my own capabilities. And it also helped me kind of learn and understand